Good morning and a happy new year to you. I am Abosade Adeniradoremi, standing in for Yori Folarin. Today, we are discussing Edo and the emergent scenarios. Also, we'll be discussing the political landscape in Nigeria ahead of the 2027 general election. My guest is Kasim Afegwa. He is the Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Edo State. Happy New Year, Mr. Afegwa. Thanks for joining us today.
Happy New Year. Thanks for having me.
All right. There is a lot to talk about today, so let's get straight to it. Let's begin with the New Year message there by Governor Monday Okpebholo. You know, he did describe the year 2026 as a defining phase of hope and growth. You know, that sounds like a loaded statement. Unpack it for us.
Well, we need to continue to reassure our people that we are headed in the right direction. We needed to also continue to invest hope in them, because when a people become hopeless, anarchy will set in, chaos will set in, and the stability that is required to lead a state or to govern the state will not be there. So, from the perspective of the governor, from what he has done in the last 1 year, from the agenda he has set thus far, from the kind of projects he has done, there's the need to reinvest hope that the impossible is happening in Edo and that Edo is moving forward. Continuously, every day, new emerging scenarios are coming up, and so as a government and as a governor, he needs to continue to reassure the people that they shouldn't lose hope, that this new year 2026 will be a rekindling one that will reassure our people that all that we are doing is towards a better Edo State.
All right, so essentially it is assuring and reassuring the people of Edo State of better days ahead. Over time, Mr. Afegwa, Governor Okpebholo has spoken about some of the challenges that he met on ground on assumption of office. And you'll agree that top on that list is crime and insecurity. And I'm at this point curious about what significant improvements, there are, because we still get to hear about kidnappings and we still get to hear about cases of cultism in Edo State.
Well, thank you very much, Abosede. You see, for the first time in Edo State, during this Yuletide, we didn't witness court-related killings, either at the intra-level or at the inter-level. People can drive out. Diasporans who visited Edo were happy. They saw street lights. They saw nightlife. They did their celebrations. They went back. There were no issues. That is because of the investment we have put in the area of security. We may not have gotten it perfectly right, because every day new things will keep coming up. But for this Yuletide, at least it is good for us to appraise ourselves and also cheer ourselves up that we've done well. We have organized a carnival that never was before now. People were happy. People came out in their droves, and enjoy the atmosphere of celebration of this Christmas and New Year. And there were no issues of security, particularly in Benin City, the state capital. It is not just cheering news for us, it is a remarkable achievement that throughout this period, unlike previous seasons, where you have killings, you wake up in the morning, 4 people have been gunned down, 3 people have been gunned down. So our no-nonsense approach to cultism and court-related killings and activities has yielded visible impact. We can see it, we can feel it, and we're happy that the government, the people, are, feeling what the governor is doing, and they are praising him for that. Aside from that, the governor also made the season to be quite interesting by paying, 13th month salary to the workers. So that was, quite cheering, to them. And all you need to do as a government and as a governor is for you to be able to carry your people along, let them have a buy-in into your policies and programs, let them understand the dynamics in the system. Where you have challenges, speak out. They would naturally follow you, because only yesterday when the governor carried out inspection of some ongoing projects in Edo South, as the Benin City and environs, he was impressed by the quality of work he saw that the contractors were doing. And those who were not doing well, based on specification, he had cause to challenge them to do more, otherwise he will revoke the contracts. So he's not slowing down on the need to get value for money in Edo State. And so we are happy that thus far we have done well. We can say that in terms of Naira and Kobo, in terms of the statistics on ground.
All right, and if we may, talk briefly about the governor's Shine agenda, that is what this administration is operating under. So talk to us about that, because yes, we have spoken about security. You have also somewhat, ventured into infrastructure. So let's run through, what makes up that Shine agenda and what you think this administration has been up to since November 2024.
Well, Shine agenda has been our policy, focus, and the Shine means security, health, infrastructure, natural resources, agriculture, and education. Aside from these 5 pivotal, subject matter areas, we have other areas, the social development, human capital development, even helping students to pursue their legitimate aspirations, helping the institutions to grow and all of that. But in the area of security, we have achieved so much, even though we have not gotten to the nadir of what we intend to see, because Edo is a peculiar state. Peculiar in the sense that almost everybody going to every part of the country, you pass through Edo. If you are going to South-South, you pass through Edo. You are going to Southeast, you pass through Edo. You are going to Southwest, you pass through Edo. So it's a transit state. So when crimes are committed in other states, they come through Edo to escape to other places. And at times when they commit crimes in Edo, they run to other places. But there's a lot of collaboration going on now between Edo, Kogi, Ondo, and even Delta State. So, and that is also yielding positive results. We are getting more and more, equipped in terms of having the right technology to combat some of these sophisticated crimes, where some communities are going into drone purchase to track kidnappers and what have you, and it's using results where the police, Operation Rescue, police, military, and civil defense, they are working, night and day. They are combing the forest. They are going in, and they are making a lot of arrests. In fact, before the Christmas, we made over 50-something arrests in just one operation that they carry out within the border of Okpebholo and Okene, because that place became too volatile for kidnapping activities and other crimes and criminalities. So as we speak now, the government's budget for 2026 has increased because he wants to do more. And before he had bought vehicles and all that. Now we are going to move beyond vehicles and buy other things that will help, to combat crimes. We will also have to introduce technology in some aspect. This issue of drones, the governor is considering buying quite a number of them. And we're also trying as much as possible to recruit more hands at the local government level that will act as local vigilantes to help in intelligence gathering and information collation for the relevant security agencies and all of that. Because the ungoverned areas are usually the point of departure when it comes to, getting some of these activities, in the forest, in the bushes and all of that. But with the kind of approach we are putting now, I'm very sure that we will get, to another remarkable level when it comes to security. Infrastructure, we are doing fantastically well. By April, 4 months' time, they will be delivering the first overhead bridge, flyover. in Edo. That's the first in the history of that state. A second one is being built at Adesua Junction. We have the Sapele Road that was abandoned before, for which signboard was put by the previous government that this is a federal government road. We are sorry. But we are fixing all of that now. Ekewan Road, we are fixing it. The governor went on inspection. There are quite another road in Ogege, Ewotubu. Quite a number of roads are ongoing. In the area of schools, the same thing we are doing. I think so far so good. Even our opponents, the opposition in the state, even though they are factionalized into different categories, they concede to the fact that yes, the governor is doing well. But what they don't like is they don't want him to take the credit for the things that he's doing.
Mr. February, no,
because they denigrated him before.
You know, I would say this is your own position, and this is your perception of what is going on. Of course, the opposition would say, you know, what they want to say. If, for instance, it's a project they began, they would tell you they began the project, and also they would also question the suitability and significance of whatever project has been done. For instance, you spoke about overhead bridges. You know, yes, excellent project, but then also they might ask the question as to, is this really what residents of this particular community need at this time? Is that the topmost priority of what they want government to do for them? Well,
the point must be noted that for urban renewal project, you need a flyover in that axis. You don't have to spend too much of man hours on the highway because you want to keep appointments in pursuit of your own legitimate aspirations on a daily basis. So the opposition may say that is not what is needed, but they have forgotten that infrastructure is one of the platforms that you can inject funds into the economy, because those who are working there, the artisans, the welders, the bricklayers, and all of that, on a daily basis are taking money home to feed their family. So those who say that why do you have to build, if you don't build the infrastructure, what do you want to use the resources for? So we are very happy at the flyover we are building, 2 of them. We are going to go to the 3rd one very soon because that's what the governor said.
All right.
And we're also doing roads. We are building hospitals. At the last count, we have built about 65 primary healthcare across the 18 local governments, and we are taking that number to 146 by our own estimation. We have recovered schools, about 63 altogether now, that were in dilapidated form when we came on board. And at the time when they talked about Edo best in education. So we are not pretending. We also supply chairs and tables in the schools. And in some cases, there are computers to help them in having technological experience. So we are not just talking. We are doing, and people can see.
All right, Mr. Okpebholo. You know, I hear all that you've reeled at, and I'm glad you've spoken about infrastructure. So let's at this point now talk about the Museum of West African Arts, MOWA. You know, that project. It's a gigantic initiative that you would agree should naturally draw eyeballs, further positioning Edo State as a center of culture and tourism, driving economic boom and bringing other benefits. But this project is shrouded in controversy, and up until now, the facility is not in use, it remains shut, and one may even say it's beginning to rot away. Is it that the Edo State government is not seeing the bigger picture with the MOWA projects?
In fact, it is the bigger picture we are seeing that led to our intervention, so that we don't begin to funnel the pockets of private individuals at the expense of the state government and the people who should naturally benefit. You don't come up with a project and you unilaterally, took actions that are more individualistic rather than collective. The previous government came up with the idea of museum, fine. From Legacy Restoration Trust Fund to Edo Museum of West African Arts, from there to Museum of West African Arts. Then you ask yourself, why this change from this to this to this?
Mr. Fangwa, let me hold you for a moment. I understand we have a caller, so let's just quickly listen to him. He's Elder David calling from Alimosho here in Lagos. Elder David, good to have you join us on the program.
Thank you, Happy New Year, Happy New Month.
Wish you the same.
May God bless the good people of Nigeria.
Amen.
May God bless Nigeria. May God protect
Amen.
Nigeria in the new year. Wish a good year for every one of us.
Amen. Thank you.
For those states, may God
Amen.
bless Okpebholo. May God bless him. He's the coming back of our Bruce
Amen.
Ali. And I call him Awolowo coming back, just like Tinubu.
Amen.
With only 2 years, it's not up to 2 years in office. If you know what he has done in Edo State, I'm from Edo State, let me tell you. I'm from one division. Yes, that is from the old Afemai division, I do not. We see the handwork of this man. It's not up to 2 years. What if this man is 2 years? Then what are we going to say? If not because it's unfortunate that we always have some bad people who rule Edo State at a particular time. The PDP in Edo State, during their own period, in fact, the damage they do in Edo State, may God forgive them. But we thank God, God has bring somebody like Oshimole, who started it very well. If he had continued like that with Obaseki, there could have been no problem. And today, Okpebholo have come to continue where Oshimole stopped. And I know very well, by this time next year, everybody will be hailing him. I quite believe everything I have told you. But what I want to appeal to my brother there, the road from Ifon to Uzeba, that is the old road that linked the whole of Afemai. In those days, that road is there today. It should be tied. That is from Ifon to Uzeba to Sabongda, from there to Okeod. From Okeod now to Auchi, to Afuze. And why I continue to respect Oshimole, he was the one that buried Modu. When he was there as the governor, no, not even as the governor, that was as the president of Nigeria Labour Congress, when Imodu died. And may God bless him because he was able to provide everything during his own period. And it was during his own time we have good unionism. On the 6th of June, I will not forget 2000, there was a total lockup because he did not support Obasanjo what he was doing by that time. Even if Obasanjo is a while from Edo State. And those are people in your party that create problem. So I thank you, Ogbo, my brother Ogbo.
Elder David, thank you.
You are from Afobila. God will bless you. Please, you continue to do what you are doing. What you are doing in those
I'm from Okpebholo. I'm from Okpebholo.
All right, Elder David, thank you very much. We have heard your point, and I'm sure that Mr. Afegbua too has heard his request, for that road to be fixed. But back to that discussion we were having. They were talking about MOA, seeing the bigger picture and doing the needful to open this up to the public.
Yes, I was telling you that now the few issues that needed to be straightened out, we are getting almost to the conclusion of all of those discussions. The State Assembly, had a public hearing on that. They also looked into the information available with respect to MOA. We have checked the books. Where some of them ran to court, they felt that appearing before a panel of inquiry was not necessary. They decided to go to court and all of that. But that didn't deter the committee from doing its work.
But if I may interject very briefly, Mr. Afegbua, you've spoken about the fact that they went to court and then refused to appear before the committees handling, investigating the matter in the State Assembly. When a matter is before the court, do you think, it should be open to those kinds of, don't you think it would be sub judice, really, speaking about such an issue in a platform separate from the court?
Abosede, the point must be made that Edo State government invested 3.8 billion into that project. We deserve to be carried along. We deserve to know the nitty-gritty of what obtains with respect to MOA. Individuals that were handpicked by the previous government cannot dictate to Edo where we put our money, we must put our mouth. So because we have put 3.8 billion into that project for which documents are available to back up this, we need to talk and we need to discuss the ownership structure. You can't tell me that you are handing over museum to some private individual trustees and you use Edo State money as if it were Father Christmas. We are looking for hard-earned resources to do a lot of things for our people, and museum is one of them. Fine.
Okay.
Why will you now commence a museum and you decide to hand it over to your business partners and friends?
We'll
all
get
of
to
the
that.
persons listed, they are all your business partners. Who does that?
We'll get to that shortly, Mr. Okpebholo. We have George calling from Ikeja. George, good morning and welcome to the program.
Yes, good morning, Madam Abosede, and good morning to Prince Okpebholo. Happy New Year, sir.
Good morning. Happy New Year.
The security situation in Edo, what you said is true. Some of my siblings who came from outside the country spent time at Urumi, where I was born. And they told me everything that you are saying now. People celebrated Christmas in a very peaceful and, cozy atmosphere. Unlike before, you'll be in your house, some hoodlums to just come and kidnap you inside your own house. That has reduced drastically. So I want to commend the governor for what he's doing. I've been also following developments in Edo State since this young man took over. So I know, Prince Okpebholo, that with people like you, the governor will remain on track. Madam Abosede, you seem to be questioning the need for overhead bridge. As someone who knows that place, where that bridge is located is so chaotic, traffic-wise. And that bridge will solve a lot of problems in that place. So it is very well needed. Prince Okpebholo, please, I want to plead with you for something. Urumi is the most populated city in that eastern region. But there is no facility that they can boast of. They say opportunity comes but once. With a government like this, please help us to beg Mr. Okpebholo that he should bring a polytechnic. The population of Urumi is very high now. A polytechnic, at least, to Urumi. Then the general hospital that Chief Anthony Naslu brought, the medical facility that is available in such a population today. It is in a dilapidated state. Last time I visited there, I went to that hospital. You need to, Mr. Okpebholo, you are very familiar with that area. Next time you go to Urumi, please go to General Hospital, where they call General Hospital, and see what is there. The Urumi needs at least one good hospital. The governor should please, if he cannot bring a polytechnic, at least he can give us a hospital. I'm begging.
All right, George.
For what you are doing.
Thank you very much, George, for sharing with us. So this is like a morning of requests. So, Mr. Okpebholo, you have a lot that you need to take back to Governor Okpebholo that, the people of Edo State really need him to attend to. Going back to our discussion, just like you inferred, the committee set up by the Edo State House of Assembly has, to probe the ownership and funding of MOA, and, one of the projects there has submitted its report, and that report has in turn now been handed over to Governor Okpebholo. What happens next and how soon?
We will study the reports from the government side, and what I can tell you is that since we have so much invested in that project, we would have to reconsider the ownership structure of the museum. The purpose of the museum is to serve Edo people. We will not ensure that dream to die, but we will also be interested in the ownership structure based on our investment in that museum. That
you spoke about, yes, you spoke about the museum serving Edo people. Is it just Edo people, or should it be open to the global community? Because I presume that is what the museum should do, bring people from beyond the shores of Nigeria to see what's happening here.
You see, it's okay. Don't forget that what made Benin City so unique is its culture and tradition, and by extension, the entire state. But you cannot be discussing about museum in the heart of Benin, where you have a monarchy that was invaded in 1897, without you getting the monarchy involved, particularly, from the perspective of the returned artifacts from Germany, from Holland, from quite a number of countries, Sweden and what have you. So it has to be all-inclusive. It has to be a collective endeavor that will signpost that, yes, this thing has the buy-in of the people. That way, those who are going to come will enjoy a more camaraderie kind of atmosphere that will, speak to the homogeneity of the state as one indivisible entity. That we say of Edo Okpamahin, that means Edo we are one. But being one, it has to also resonate in what we do. So we, as much as we welcome foreigners, everybody to come for the museum, it will be an income spinner and all of that. The foundation must be right. The backgrounding must be solid. The accountability, probity, and transparency must be, grounded, so that we don't begin to look at just the substance of museum, whereas underneath is rotten.
I hear you, Mr.
What
Fegwa.
we are doing...
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yes, I was just saying that I heard what you're saying, but I just wanted to also bring in a point. Does that then excuse the manner in which the tourists and diplomats who had gathered in November for the opening, does that excuse the manner in which they were treated and the way the whole thing, became eventually?
Please, we have moved beyond that, what happened in November. We have moved beyond that. The diplomats, the ambassadors, all of that, we had interface with them. They saw clearly what we are trying to uncover, and they are quite abreast with that. There's a committee, another committee headed by Dam Soshomole, Senator of the Federal Republic, that has also met with all the different donor agencies captured in the different embassies and all of that. So they understand better than us what we are trying to talk about. If you are talking about transparency, accountability, and probity, it shouldn't be a matter that we resort into altercations. We are not ready to try trading words with people. If you have built a museum, if you don't have personal interest in that museum, why the noise, why the hoopla, why the hula baloo about the museum? Allow the museum to take its own foothold based on existing protocols and existing rules and regulations. You have seeded out a land, no equity on the part of the state government and all of that. For God's sake, and you line up everything from head to toe with your friends, business friends. We will not take that. We will not. We will put the museum in proper perspective in terms of ownership, in terms of administration. And we will take the right decision that will be the best for the overall interest of Edo indigents.
All right, so let's talk about...
Let me quickly respond to the man who spoke about Uromi and environs.
15 seconds.
I'm happy that I'm happy he's considered to the point I made about security. And maybe he has not been home recently. If he goes to Uromi, you'll see that we're also handling quite a number of infrastructure. There's already an existing university in Uromi. It's just that they didn't popularize. I think it's other University of Infrastructure thereabout that was brought about in either Goodluck Jonathan era or whatever. So you don't need to litter the whole place with schools. What we need to do is to develop, the general hospital, like he said, which is part of what we are doing across the state because they are all rotten, if decayed. If you go to them, you will marvel whether this is a general hospital. And they are more or less like poultry, So we are recovering quite a number of them. We're not going to finish all of them at once. We are gradually going to ensure that we capture the ones that we can capture based on the timeline. And once we do that, we know that it will breathe a new life into the health sector in the different local governments of the state.
All right. So just before we move away from this particular topic, I want us to speak about the incident involving Don Pedro Basaki. That's gotten people talking too. And, some have described it as a height of humiliation for, the gentleman. And is this really just about his London speech, or is it a case of his cousin Sin being visited on him?
Well, I wouldn't speak the minds of those who attacked him, but we as a government, if there's anything we have done, is to frown against jungle justice. We don't tolerate it. In fact, the governor had to ban quite a number of associations, Agberu and what have you. He had to ban them. Those who are collecting receipts anywhere. Only 3 days ago, somebody sent me a message that some people are collecting money, no permission and all that. And I quickly notified the committee that is handling that. And they sprang into action. And before you know it, they apprehended quite a number of those boys. So we don't frown, we frown very, very strongly against jungle justice. But again, this is Benin Kingdom, where the Oba resonates with magisterial candor. Whether you like it or not, it is what makes Benin tick. It is one kingdom that has not lost its sovereignty and honor and relevance for centuries. So when you are discussing issues concerning the monarchy, you have to be sensitive of the environment and the socio-political milieu where that kingdom exists. So we've had different information from those who we interacted with, saying that it was as a result of the interactions of Dr. Don Pedro Obaseki in London. Again, Don Pedro Obaseki is a cultural icon. He knows how sensitive issues of the monarchy, Benin monarchy, are. And when it comes to reverence, giving reverence to the king, veneration to the king, it is total. He is the only king that I am aware of that is being prayed for, even when he's not present. Oba Okpebholo. Then people will say, he said. That means, long may you reign, the king. Even when the king is not there, you say it. That's the only king that enjoys that kind of recognition all over the world that I am aware of. Now, if you go to a place, particularly a setting that is a colonial setting, bringing back the memories of the 1897 invasion that led to the exile of Oba Overa to Calabar, you are reawakening old wounds. And those people who reside around Ogbe quarters in Benin are very sentimental when it comes to stuff like this. So they will naturally react when they see you because they think that you are denigrating a kingdom that they hold so dear. The Oba may not necessarily even know. He might not even know. He might not be aware of all of this. So what I will advise, as much as I want the relevant security agencies to prosecute those guys for, dehumanizing Don Pedro Obaseki, Don Pedro Obaseki as a cultural icon should also know the environment that he lives in, he grows, from, and he should act in consonance with what is expected, for the admiration of the monarchy. Because if there's even this museum you are talking about, the Benin Kingdom is a museum on its own. So if you are building a museum, you must also get the kingdom involved. You cannot exonerate the kingdom, but plus all the return artifacts that are normally over 2,000 of them are put together. Then you say you are doing a museum that is populated by your friends. Even at the time that you promised the monarchy that you are going to build one for him. So there are quite a number of, ding-dong. But at the appropriate time, we will normalize all of this. But to be candid, even me, I'm not from Benin, but I give all the honor and adoration to the king, to the Oba of Benin. It's good when you look at the culture and the way the people have had this culture for centuries, and it still retains its originality, and this present Oba has a cosmopolitan, orientation. A man who has been diplomat, ambassador here, ambassador plenipotentiary, he's been in this country, he's been in that country. So he's quite enlightened. So he cannot be detained by the crudity of the actions of some of these persons who naturally will show sentiments to anything that has to do with the monarchy.
All right, Mr. Fegba. Okay, on the program, we need to take a break now. And then when we return from this break, we'll be talking about the political landscape in Nigeria as we count down to the 2027 general election. Please stay with us, everyone. On TVC News, now we are talking about the political landscape in Nigeria ahead of the 2027 elections. And my guest has been here. He is Kasim Okpebholo. He is Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Edo State. Mr. Okpebholo, as we move ahead to 2027, we have seen alignments and realignments, especially in 2025. It was massive. Perhaps one of the latest is the defection of Labour Party chieftain and presidential candidate in the 2023 general election. That's Peter Obi. He's now moved to the ADC. Is it perfect time for the switch?
I think essentially Mr. Peter Obi has the right to move to any party he wants, but I think he appears a confused aspirant, very, very confused. If given his showing in 2023, he had the leadership qualities to organize, to conscientize, to sensitize people, he will have been able to put Labour Party on a stronger pedestal to become a huge attraction to people rather than vacillating here and there, looking for where to pitch his tent in search for political recognition. So I do not envy him one bit. I've seen all the actors and the players of the ADC. I call them ADC in a typical sense of ADCOM, because when you are leading from the front, your ADC will stay at the back. That is who they are, because all of the factors and the persons you have seen there, they are those who helped PDP to be decimated to the point that it is now. And so what difference are they bringing on board?
Well, ADC,
and I expected
ADC
yes?
will continue to tell you that their name is African Democratic Congress, regardless of what your opinion is about them and their affiliation.
It is called African Democratic Congress, Abi. But I'm saying that they are ADCOM, ADC to APC. They are our ADC. They are guarding our back.
But let's talk about...
So there's nothing...
Okay, there's nothing worth to land on that thought quickly.
So the point is, I like people to exhibit their leadership qualities when they have a small structure or a smaller structure and take that structure to become a bigger structure. A Labour Party, for example, became factionalized, polarized in the hands of a Peter Obi. If Labour Party were to be Nigeria, is he going to abandon Nigeria and run away the way he has abandoned Labour Party to run to ADC? That should be the question. People must own up to their responsibilities. What is it that Labour Party has that Peter Obi could not have put in proper perspective, rather than moving his own supporters to another party? And that party will still start crisis, then he will move to another party again. He doesn't show, solid credentials of a man who wants to govern Nigeria with all our multiplicities and ethnic configurations and all the dichotomies and, and divisions.
Are you sure that Mr. Obi might still have plans? Mr. Okpebholo, are you sure that Mr. Obi might still have plans to leave the ADC? Because as a matter of fact, he's calling for a broad national coalition to, in his words, rescue Nigeria from, what's the point now, from disunity, from poverty and democratic decline. So this could just be the birth of a viable opposition in Nigeria. Don't you think?
I am one of those persons who do not see the kind of credentials people are touting about Mr. Peter Obi, because when he was governor, he did worse. There were strikes. He sacked vice chancellor anyhow. He increased school fees of Nnamdi Azikiwe University. The workers were on strike. Doctors were on strike for more than 40 days. He didn't do anything. He threatened to sack more than 3,000 workers. These are on records. So I don't know, when did it suddenly become this, over sanctimonious political, leader that people are now saying Obi is the one they wanted? No, I would rather describe him better like a fictive character in Ayikwe Ama's The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born, the Chichidodo bird. It's a peculiar bird in Ghana, that is very clean, white, very neat, but he feeds on maggot. He doesn't want anything to touch it, but he feeds on maggot. And maggot can only be gotten in the latrines, dirty places. That is the kind of political, description I can give to a Mr. Peter Obi, a Chichidodo. Neat and clean and all that, but where do you fraternize with? The same people you complain about in APC are the same people that you are saying in ADC. So if you want to live above board, please let me finish this line of thought. If you want to live above board, you have to be consistent with your ideals. Let people know you with those ideals. Be consistent with what you are preaching and show them. Let people see it. You were a governor, you never displayed all of these characteristics. Only all of a sudden, because you want to be president of Nigeria, you are pretending you are wearing one shoe. You say you are wearing one wristwatch. Meanwhile,
well,
please ask your next question.
Well, that is Mr. Obi's position, and I guess he's free to say that too. But let's look at another political matter, the political intrigues in Rivers State. One would actually have thought that the end of emergency rule in the state would be a permanent end to the rifts that you have, among the different political gladiators there. But it appears that is not the case. Why has this matter persisted?
Well, I think what is happening in Rivers is the interplay of forces by political gladiators, the former governor and the present governor. I am one of those who is of the view that when somebody assists you to get into a position, show some level of gratitude. I have said it before, I've written about it. But I want to advise that since Similai Fubara has defected to APC, I think just like the secretary of the party said, he is the leader of the party based on the constitution of the APC. If his political godfather, Wike, remains in PDP, so good, so well and so good. But people, political actors and factors, they must know when to apply brake.
Okay, so let's quickly apply brake. Mr. Fegwa, let's quickly apply that brake now. And let's bring in our last caller for the day, Joshua, calling from Iriwolede in Ogun State. Joshua, good morning and welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning and good morning to your guest. Happy New Year. And by regards to Uncle Yopi, wherever he is, I'm happy with your guest. Every time he has to talk, he makes our lives a little bit joyful. I mean, I just love what he says. I love the way he attends to issues. And this morning, for me, I congratulate the people of Edo for the governor they have and for this particular man who speaks for the state. To me, Edo is like capturing what I expect Nigeria to be. If you have a good leader, you should also have a good communicator. Because today, if you are unable to connect to the people via information, you are just on your own. So he stands in that space, being able to articulate his issues so well. And I commend him. I hope the federal government will learn something from this man and from the governor as well. I know they are all working together as a progressive group. I want to please appeal to TVC. When I love the maturity of the TV station in terms of how people talk. But at the same time, please allow them to express themselves, because in other platforms, you see the way people talk down on it, the languages are not even moderate, they are not good at all. They condemn everything. But your guess, what you try to do is moderate all those extremes So please allow them to talk. Nigeria needs to hear the other side of the story. And I think that's what this money is doing for us. So
Thank
please,
you.
I appreciate you. And
All right.
I hope this year will be good for Nigeria and for everyone else. Thank you very
Amen.
much.
Thank you very much, Joshua, for sharing your thoughts with us. Well, time is of essence on TV, and there are a number of issues to discuss, and that's the reason we need to just go straight to the point, hit the nail on the head, and move on. So, yes, we had to apply that break because we were saying that Governor Fubara had to apply break when his political godfather remains in the PDP. So quickly land on that because I have something for you on APC.
No, the political godfather, Nyesom Wike, needs to apply break and reassess his political trajectory. You see, people in power game, you have to weigh your options. And it's not all the time that you have to be quarrelsome. I'm not going to subscribe to that approach. I saw statements credited to Minister Wike that his political future will have been crumbled if Fubara gets a second term. Statutorily, Fubara is entitled to a second term. The Constitution so defines. But the operating factors may be a hindrance. But it shouldn't be at the instance of an individual who wants to wield powers that are extraneous, powers that are extra-constitutional. So I would rather advise Wike, and this is going to be a very selfless and very priceless advice, that he should please allow peace to reign and also read the minds and the mood of the people of Rivers State. You see, this young man who has defected to APC is gaining a lot of traction in terms of support base. And so you may enter into a fisticuff with him thinking that you will undo him. Other extraneous factors can humble you. It happened in Edo. Obaseki was routed out of APC against the advice and counseling of some of us that, no, allow him there, let us defeat him right inside there. The powers that be there didn't understand. They allowed him, he went to PDP. Some factors within the APC team up with Obaseki to defeat the APC candidate in Izeyam. And this is where we are today. So please, the noise we see from the outside, they don't determine the political pendulum. Politics is deep and power game is deeper. So all of these factors, when you put them together, you will be able to bake the political bread that you can share to people in terms of projects and all of that. And so please, I want to advise former Governor Wike to please let peace, give peace a chance in Rivers.
All right, Mr. Okpebholo.
It's not all the time that people want to hear your voice or want to hear you all the time.
Thank you, Mr. Okpebholo. I've been speaking with Kasim Okpebholo. He is the Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Edo State. Thank you very much for your time on this morning.
It's a pleasure, Abosede, and please convey my warm wishes to Uncle Yori. And
we'll definitely do that. Thank you again. Well, that is the show today, this morning. We thank you very much for being a part of it. My name is Abosede Adeniwa Adremi. Enjoy the rest of your day.